Hello, everyone. Since we spoke, I'm sure you've seen me in the same exact thing. So I'm telling you right now, today is May 19th, okay, 2026. So we're good. It's a different day, unfortunately, with with my predicament. Unfortunately, my clothes are in storage. So when they were in storage, before I was leaving the motel here, I brought some of the stuff to the storage, and some of the stuff like my shaver, and certain other smaller things I took back with me. And because of the distance and the ride, and because I don't have a car, I had to take even the shaver and some other stuff with me in a different bag. But I'm sure people was trying to figure out why I took the shaver. But anyway, I went to the hospital to voluntarily admit myself. There was a lot of stuff that was going on, a lot of pressure that was going around from the eviction that I see, and the eviction that I've been dealing with and going through online. It's just been a lot. So I want to make sure y'all can see my eyes. It's just been a lot that's been happening and going on. And I think I've said it, but B is T as in Tom, B as in boy, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam, 360, that's my Cash App, for Terry B's Consulting Solutions 360 LLC. So now that's non-tax deductible. Non-tax deductible. Okay? So a facet of things that's happening, I don't know where to go from this. So since I went involuntarily because there was an issue that I previously had before, and unfortunately it was worse. And there was I'm good. I'm good. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Don't y'all come knocking. I'm not gonna answer. Don't come knocking. So with that, you take precautions with these particular things because if it gets to a point like my first time where you trust yourself over and over again, although you may have thoughts and plans of particular self-harm, you don't execute it because those thoughts and plans, well, then this is in my opinion, I'm not a doctor, I know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not any of that stuff, I'm just saying this is Terry's opinion. Those thoughts and those thoughts on planning is very short. Like it just comes in your mind, just splits in, splits out, and you cancel it during those times. And I think I'm just giving more mud for other people that the situation that I'm dealing with. But I just want to be truthful in my opinion about what's going on. So at the particular time that I went through that incident in 2018, I went through that particular incident, and it caught me off guard. All I know is I was going out to a hotel to chill out from my environment, and then next thing you know, it wasn't, I'm not speaking anything that was violent or anything in that form. It was totally unusual, and my mind was extremely made up, and that was pretty much it on that end as far as that. So I want it to be, and the things that I do share that with, the people that I do share that with, I kind of go more in detail on the feeling of it. And honestly, yeah, because there's still a struggle of letting go, with your life. And thankfully, I'm here. I praise God, but I have respect for people all around, and for those who have opinions about what you can't do, what you shouldn't do. And not knowing the moment of what you feel. The moment of what you feel is totally different. and overcoming those too is something totally different too as well. Not that you can't, because you can. I was just very surprised. Going back to my point, I was very surprised and shocked that, because I had no idea. I had no plans for it. Well, I'm chilling, and next thing you know, everything was totally different. And yeah, so what I didn't, and it wasn't violent. I'm just repeating that again, but it was considered a lethal intent. That's how I got it. So me being the churchgoer, I was very surprised myself with all the stuff. If you known all the stuff that happened in my life, you would be shocked. You would be shocked. So I'm shocked. Like, why now? Why? Like, I just, and in getting past the trusting again of the point of your feelings and making sure that we have this buffer, that there's nothing, that wants you to do any self-harm to yourself. That's something that's something that's very important. Making sure you have that buffer. And so I've always had the buffer. And for some reason, when that thing disappeared, it disappeared. So getting back to my point, I was extremely concerned for myself with the shortened time of particular moments that was happening, and the shortening of, and knowing that whenever I, in 2018, made up my mind, period, I do not want to get to that point where I make up my mind. So let me get some help. You might want to know why I'm smiling. Let me get some help. And so I end up going to Cleveland Clinic, Western. I end up, because I really, that's just me. I'm a planner, but I love myself. I try to take care of myself. I try to do all this stuff at one time, and still at the time I was loving myself going to the hotel. And I'm telling you, it wasn't a bad moment for me, but everything changed. No, I'm not that kind. I don't want that to happen again. Forgive me for saying that's not me, because trust me, if you're ever in that position, that's not me moment will keep replaying back in your mind as a record over and over again. So I went to Cleveland Clinic, and when I went to Cleveland Clinic, they ended up it was a voluntary admittance. And from that point, they transferred me to Larkin Hollywood hospital, or I don't think it's a hospital. I think it's a center or something like that. And so Larkin Hollywood, because Terry came with his sleep machine, they don't, and the correlation of the suicidal ideations that was going on at the time, they did not have the medical outlets or something basically for it, and to be safe with other patients. And this is something I didn't think I was going to talk about this as much, because I'm very sensitive about it. People have their own opinions about it, and very, very strong opinions. But until people I had very strong opinions about it, but until it happens to you, and thankfully the attempt, meaning you can bounce back the next day or whenever that happens, you gonna slow down a little bit of your thought and your perspective on how other people think, when they think, how they think, what they do when they do it. You will have a different perspective, but you don't know that unless you've gone through it. So don't say you won't, don't say you will. You don't know unless you've gone through it. Because there was one person that never thought I would have the different perspective of that. It is me. And it's not a different perspective of for you to get, for anyone to be upset, or, it's just a different perspective of I'll say it like the different perspective of what it takes to actually go to that moment, being vulnerable. The different perspective of what it takes to actually go to that moment and following through for all of those who have, unfortunately lost their lives and have done it. I think more violent stuff. There were, I think, for the violent acts, there were for people that use different weapons. There were signs. The autopsies showed signs of, I want to say, for lack of a better word, struggle. Still in the moments of, the final decision. It was still a struggle, and the final decision just didn't happen. And there's more to it really is more to it that I would like to say, but I just like to get more to a point, because I'm getting back to the point that I went to Cleveland Clinic for help. So I went to Cleveland Clinic for help, and then I ended up getting transferred to Larkin Community Hospital or Community Center. Then from there, they transferred me not to the closest Larkin or whatever they did. They transferred me not even to a different facility, but they transferred me all the way down south to Miami, to South Miami Larkin Hospital. Okay. And they transferred me down there. And at the end of the day, I think I had to be switching. Well, I ended up staying in one particular area with the other admittance, and they really didn't have the initial accommodation. And they really, I would want to say, they extended themselves with that accommodation to the point of making a reasonable accommodation for a person's disability, because sleep apnea can definitely, I think, be one of those. Don't quote me on that. No, don't quote me on that. But if I looked it up, I'm sure it's one of those things. Sleep apnea, I believe it is, but don't quote me on it. Please don't. So when they got further and it was time for me to be discharged, I'm just getting to this point. I am now homeless, of course. The homelessness shifted like all that energy to a point of, me just going in a state or whatever. So the thing that you don't want to do when it comes to the thing I feel you don't want to do when it comes to people with mental illnesses is take them out of particular environments, and environments meaning environment of the house, environment of the community, environment of the local area, environment of the extended area, I want to say county. Okay. So, next thing you know, I'm getting ready to be discharged, and we're looking for, nevertheless, we know that Terry has disability, receives disability. And we know that my check is basically, in being transparent, it's basically in between $950 or something, whether you like it or not. Some people, may see Terry as different, and some people may see Terry, what? It is what it is. I'm able to be professional about it, and for you in your mind to get past any other questions, because it automatically comes to, this brother really? Yeah, well, I do. I really do. But it's just unfortunate. It's just a disability. So that leaves me in particular circumstances of particular supplemental income. Okay? So with that being said, you have that, and when you have that, you as a social worker or anything, okay, let me this person is leaving out. Okay, let me get this. Okay, this is their check. That would be my question. What's your budget? What's your rent costs? What have you paid for rent before? I need to know these things, Terry, before you leave or before I start searching, so we can make sure we have everything correct for you and everything. So we don't want to put you in another. We don't want to put you in a state of crisis, leaving out, going to a whole another different moving alone for people that deal with illnesses is traumatic. Moving along is traumatic for people who don't deal with mental disabilities. You know, it's traumatic. It's very traumatic. I don't want to say, well, yeah, I guess I can just say, you know, no, I don't want to say, because it's more, it can be less of what you think as a mental disability, you know, with some people of whether it is anxiety, whether it is depression, or whether it is some of the other stuff that's not as what they would say as severe. And some diagnoses do come and they stick and they stay, and you just have to make sure you go and filter what you need to filter out. And with your doctors, I'll stop there. I just had to filter, you know, once I moved from one position to the next position to the next doctor to make sure, you know, that everything was still copacetic with, you know, my agreement and what was going on upon their assessment, especially, you know, different things. So getting back to this, Larkin, at the end of the day, came back with this. One was rent for $750. That was in Miami. The next one, because and my issue was because my income comes at the beginning of the month. Because my income comes at the beginning of the month, which one Larkin facility person said, oh, okay, so it doesn't swing to the next month. So basically, because it's the middle of the month, that's it. It pretty much closes itself out. Like trying to move when you don't have no money, how are you going to do that? So then one Larkin facility staff member, they can say I didn't. They didn't say it. And sorry, they said that they didn't say it. Not only it was with gas. It was a gaslighting moment. On a mental health ward, dealing with a mental health patient, you gaslighting. That you didn't say it, and you crank. That's what gaslighting is. So, you know, now, because if it didn't happen, because I went to the phone and spoke with my social service person in Sunshine Health, Miss Tiffany, don't want to say her last name. I don't think we're able to do that. Or more, I just feel more comfortable not doing that. But Miss Tiffany, and at the end of the day, with her, she said something to the liking of, yeah, we do have certain funds like that. Well, because when I was so excited to know, and this is really getting to a point, you want to hear this. I know you do, and just hang in there with me if you can, but you want to hear this. Because it goes further to me being arrested. It goes further to me getting my property separated. It goes further to the patient value envelope, not having my laptop listed on there, and me asking for a addendum to it. It goes further to me going to the South Miami Police Department, not having now, having them now have me to sign a paper that says Miami-Dade Police Department. And I'm sorry, y'all, I have to say it. It was so much pressure getting my stuff back, and you wanted me to get this, and you kept doing this to the signature part of it, and it wasn't loud, but it was very forceful and aggressive, and you shifted my focus now. And I definitely ADD. I can't I can't do all. Don't do. So when you ask me to, when I'm focused on a certain area, I'm not looking that I'm signing Miami-Dade Police Department until I'm getting in this room and pulling these papers out. Nevertheless, some papers are missing. Now, let me say this: it does not mean that I'm talking about the South Miami Police Department, or if they, because I didn't deal with the South Miami Police. I didn't deal with Miami-Dade Police Department. They displayed themselves as South Miami Police Department. I just went to the South Miami. Where is this at? Oh man, I wish I just had it. Here it is. Somebody just wrote from the. You want to know why the jail facility? Trust me, the jail facility, the address of the South Miami Police Department. So why am I coming from the South Miami Police Department and I'm getting a inventory of Miami-Dade? And then it has a different case number than the case number that I actually have. I don't know what this case number is. This is a separate case number practically on the same day. So now what this case number and I was attached to, I have no idea. I don't. So I'm sure that we'll find out. Getting back to the point with Larkin. So you want to come back with an understanding of the person's income and everything, and to properly, suggest replacement. Okay, the suggestion for replacement of ILF, independent living facilities, which from my understanding, they independent living facilities deal with foods and stuff, and you have all that stuff going on. And one was $750. She said, "Oh, Mr. Brewer, I got one for you," and I had to deal with three of them, three different ones, 3 different days, and then it went back to one. I think it was intentional chaos. I do think that it's also connected to I do think that what I received was retaliation from my racial discrimination claim. Okay, so now hear me out. I'm saying what I received was retaliation from my racial discrimination claim, or due to my racial discrimination claim. And yes, there's a difference from the retaliation from something and receiving racial discrimination to something, in my opinion. And I'm not an attorney, but that's just my thinking. So yeah, it was from that. And there were certain even doctors who made suggestions about what is reasonable to apartments. And they didn't say the word apartments, so I'm defending them. But what is reasonable, and all this like putting, emphasis on it. But not knowing on my part I'm jumping to this point, but there's a thing of rent reasonable when it comes to, because my whole thing was been this exception to payment standard. If you Google it, hopefully you will, when you Google it, put notice, NOTICE PIH 2013-18. And you should come up with the form, but it's a revision for requests for exception to payment standards for persons with disabilities and reasonable accommodations. I've said it before that most people in homes, what they don't know is that they already classify as that, with students in school and not knowing about learning disabilities, and you can technically kind of move out of with the right doctor and with the right plan, having a right focus on it, and it matching you. And the community matches you. Yes. I ain't talking about those who just want to do stuff. Because me, when I received my Section 8, and I'm going back to Larkin, when I received my Section 8, I knew, I know, I got Section, wow, it is like the lottery. It's like the lottery. Because especially down here, I think it was 30,000 people applying at one time, and it was a lot. I know it was a lot. So for me to be picked out, I was very honored. I started typing my applications and stuff, and people were seeing it, and they was like, "Ooh, look, I've never seen it type. You seen it type before?" And then it just went to, now I'm request for a reasonable accommodation to live at this, I'm saying, predominantly white neighborhood, you know. And the next thing you know, they just kept, it was so much ripple. And I'm here now with this because of this. Everything I'm dealing with is connected to it. Because it flows up to so many departments who have been saying, let it go. And they let it go when I didn't. And then I went to the next department. Now they have to retaliate against me because I went to the next department. Oh, Lord, we got to make a cover up for this particular situation because now they done went, oh, wow, what are we going to say? I don't know. But getting back to Larkin, Larkin Community Hospital in South Miami, when they knew that I was homeless, you transfer me from Broward County. I don't live in Dade. Never, 48 Broward. So to a mental health patient who has, I have 6, because I have, there's a, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, comorbidity or something. So basically it's in my opinion, look it up yourself, verify it for yourself. Don't definitely not on me. Only the exception to the pavement standard, I'll let you know about that. This other stuff, you got to find it on your own a little bit. But with the comorbidities, it deals with it's complex post-traumatic stress. So there's a difference of PTSD and complex PTSD. So with the multiple traumas, it does a wear and tear on your body. And you develop particular illnesses, physical ailments, literally from the wear and tear of your body. So with that, I have 6 different specialists. Okay, so now I have 6 different specialists. At least 6 different, I want to say at least, I think 6 different specialists. If not 6, it's 5. I want to almost log on and make sure, but no, I got more than usual. I got specialists, y'all. Trust me, I do. I may come to y'all. I may look and some to one side because I know to my Antioch church, to the Antioch members. To one side, I'm so quiet. I'm just quiet. You probably don't notice me. I disappear in the dark because of, I deal with photography there. I volunteer in the media department as a photographer. To the other side, Terry's in the front or Terry's on this side, whether it's production in those days or something of that sort, that, there are just many facets. But getting back to this point where, me having these particular specialists, medical specialists in a particular area, and then you move me to Dade County, to a county that I don't know where I'm coming from, and you're placing me there, and you're saying, this is what we have for you, this is what we have for you. And I said, oh, I can't because of the rent. Okay, and then the one reneged on it, and then I'm calling, I hope they don't mind, but I'm calling my church. And not mentioning the amount, but for me, for this little Negro, the amount was what? Y'all doing that for me? So now here I am. I'm making sure that every decision I'm making sure every decision after that, I ain't playing with folks' money. With it, because you don't get it back, you're still sowing it. You get it back. You getting it back. So what I do from this, you getting it back. That's how I feel. There's an accountability to money, especially when folks give you money. You better be accountable for it and what you're doing with it. So after I said that my church would help out with a certain portion and where it goes into I'm able to finish for the next month, then okay, we all good to go now. Because your church can do it. And I said, well, I don't want, because it looks like you giving me a rent for $750 and then it went to $850 in the other one, and $850 was in Fort Lauderdale. Oh no, it was in Lauderhill. $850 was the one. What and the only one. Like there's no ILFs in the area. There's no other ILFs or anything similar to that give services without food, because food, costs money. $850 included in food. What's the portion of that $850 included in food and not? And then you just sticking me with that, and that's the only one they say. Okay, well you think that I'm the same? I'm an individual that you're used to dealing with, and because I exercise my rights, you get mad and pouty. I don't think certain people do not receive people of color who are just with the tone as they are. And I'm saying this very neutral now, because there's a difference from racism and in my opinion, from what I'm talking about. But that get that, and that how dare, and it is that's that underlining thing. Then I don't think it's as forefront, but because they had a little that in front of them before, it's different. And it's what, and then you would what? I'm simply coming and doing this. Can you do this? Can you blah blah blah? It's always a different effect when you get it. That's why what I always like. That's why I'm always quiet and nice and try to. Even when people are mad, I try to be so nice, because you can't have an excuse. That's what I try to be. I don't want to give you no excuse because I done got mad and upset and blah blah blah, which people done tried me many a times nowadays. No, and they'll tell you, no, trust me, it's very hard to get him like that, So I'm saying, can you? What's the $850? Well, this is the only one. This is the one that you get. This is what you got to know what your tax money going to, because it's programs and it's I'm sure. I can't say I'm sure. I don't want to say I'm sure that law can. You see some federal money, whatever like that. You just have to know where your money going to. You have to know where your money going to with people that are people that are vulnerable, that are financially vulnerable in the same liking, and you trying to figure out when you look at them why they're not at a certain point, because other people robbing from them or put them in a certain predicament or a place where they should be. And then it goes back on you. And if anybody, Willie Miles, wherever Willie Miles is, if anybody knows Willie Miles, who used to be the vice president of the Urban League of Broward County, I had a stuttering speech. I had a stuttering prompt very bad. I didn't start speaking until I was 5 years old. This man, when I used to walk from Parkway Middle School, put me in, just like me, because I was a little quiet boy, put me in his office, and people used to, staff workers used to come in, and I watched him talk. I'm the observer. I watch him talk and talk and talk, and I'm just looking. I'm the one that will look and get hit because I'm watching your mouth, And so, through that, I understand about, especially the Urban League of Broward before it moved to the other one. I knew about service placements, and when people are talking about services and what you're doing and what you're not doing for people and stuff, how the services should be lined up. And then you telling me, no, this is it. This is what you should do. This is what you should do to achieve your goal. What's the discharge plan? This is the discharge. You don't think that that's what they told me? This is the discharge plan. And it makes me feel that their goal was to really get me so upset. This is not, I don't think, how it was over there. Now, I may have been very, no, we're not doing that. But you blah, 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 blah. But I'm not, no, not like, no, no. So, when this is the discharge, but there's no discharge plan. It's only, you don't even have a, matter of fact, excuse me, there's no discharge plan. You don't want to show me a discharge plan. The discharge plan, by the time I got a discharge plan, the police, they gave it to the police officers and not to me. Never seen a pre-plan anything, just like a treatment plan. If you can have a treatment plan, you can have a discharge plan. Although I never seen a treatment plan either. But if you can have that, you can have a discharge plan. There are certain rights that people have. You know, so she said, well, this is it. This is what it is in 850. Getting back to this church thing. Sorry, I'm just so long, but it took me a lot to get back to this point, not knowing what I'm going to do again. Just getting out of jail from Larkin because Larkin did something dirty. And so now I'm coming back here dealing with the same thing that Larkin gave me back in the same place coming from to Larkin. If y'all follow me, not sure. But for me, that's not acceptable. What is my success rate? What is my rate of being able to come out of this and not having to relapse? You know, if I find the particular paper, because what I was trying to do, y'all don't want to see my notes. You know, after Larkin, after they knew that I was looking to file a complaint. Anybody who knows about complaint filing or anything, when you do it and how you do it, whether there's a particular complaint form that you should have, and I received the Larkin, here it is, from the front desk. Okay, I received this. Now I have to translate this because they only give you crayons or Crayola markers from all my writing, and orange, and Terry writes. I have nothing but notations of what I needed to say, how I need to say it. Now let me reverse this. Let me do this. Well, I can't do this. It's too cold in here. It's 30 degrees in this place. Why does it feel like it's, well, I say, why does it feel like it's 50 or something? Anyway, getting back to this point. So trying to do this, and then now they all of a sudden, hey, come on. We have your thing. So now what you can do, this is what they told me. Another option, and it's not in the exact sequence, but it is the options that I was given. And I had 3 options all at one time. Now that I did. And those 3 options, the other one was New Hope. I have nothing against New Hope, New Corp or something like that. Have nothing against New Hope. I have nothing against New Hope. Now, and I said, okay, where's that? Oh, that's in Miami too. Okay. Now for Broward folks, my voice cracked on that. For Broward folks, you gonna understand what I'm saying. That's not Miami. Okay, so when she said, yeah, it's in Homestead, that was my response. And it wasn't loud. I promise you it wasn't loud, because I think we was around. So I'm like, Homestead? So do you know where Homestead, did say this, Homestead is like a different county than Dade. That's my opinion from Broward now, because I don't know Broward. I don't know Dade. I only know Broward. And it's just that particular thing. That's all I know right now. So y'all don't please don't hold it against my church. The church I go to is in Miami. It's please don't do that to me. Don't hold it against me. It's Miami Gardens. So Antioch. And so, Missionary Baptist Church, let me say the full thing, also known as a dwelling place. But getting back to that moment, and so I'm looking, this is the point that I'm getting to. Again, there's like the same thing as with work people, we have this retention rate. What is our retention rate? The success rate, the relapse rate. That's also when it comes into those mental health facilities, the relapse rate, relapsing into those thoughts, into those points and all that stuff. What is that rate? And you want to make sure that you give the best chance for that person to do what they need to do. Okay, so I'm coming out with the rate of $850. I got $950. I pay Metro $40. I pay my storage $63. That's my money. Where's the Walgreens? Where's my transportation? You didn't ask me any of that. Well, this is what we have. Well, what you have to do is just move, and Yeah, because I'm looking to sign up for the homeless forest shelter. People will spin you. People will spin you. People will spin you. And for those who are less educated than I am, with my I don't mind GED, with my hill of experience, because most people would not even ask me about it. But with my hill of experience with churches and, man, the wonderful churches who have allowed me to deal with very difficult departments, and I don't even want to say their name. I don't want to say their names. But very difficult departments, and put that trust in me. This little old boy never had a thought about asking anything because it never came to their mind to ask, because it never triggered. You didn't say it. What's your education? So, and then people can be very spinny on you and will trip your words up. And when you're more fluent with your vocabulary, you can spin it on someone to make them almost lose their mind, like it's their fault. You did this. This is what you wanted. Which is also gaslighting, y'all. That's gaslighting. Now, we could get legal about it, and there's legalities and about how it's done and everything. But here's the problem. We're dealing not just in a hospital. We're in a mental health facility ward, 5th floor, dealing with people who are in the current crisis. Okay, Terry's now coming out of this crisis. And my biggest moment, because not even the question with Terry, what's truly, I had the concern. I don't want to get in the position that I feel, here it is, I'm writing notes, and the staff check your room every 15 minutes. What you think they see me doing? Oh, yeah, that happened too. Let me go back to this rights board. Now, I go to this rights board and this numbers, and I'm writing these numbers and all that stuff. And then the doctor comes up to me, and I'm skipping certain parts. Doctor comes up to me, because it's very important to tell you about New Hope. Doctor comes up to me and asks me, hey, how's it going, Dr. Gutierrez? I messed up his name. Forgive me. How's it going? So how are you feeling? Do you, I don't think he said the word, do you have any complaints? But people will shift you into that moment to talk, because that's the training. That's the training, because it's to digress a situation that's needed, to de-escalate, a situation. And that is a part of de-escalating something, so it doesn't escalate into a complaint. Which you see somebody writing numbers, that's the next thing they're going to do. And so I said, no, because I had my notes. So I'm just writing notes, and I was just very blunt. I'm looking to file a complaint. Y'all trying to discharge me here, and you only give me 3 locations. And then you're not helping me to sign up for the homeless. It ain't my problem. For me, personally, it is not my problem that you're in Miami-Dade and Broward. I'm from Broward, and you don't communicate with Broward homeless shelter and all that kind of stuff. Or I've been around social working long enough. Y'all don't, I've been around social working long enough. Been around, before guardian ad litem, I've been around it. My personal opinion, guardian ad litem is the way to go. You ever want to do anything that really, to me, my personal opinion that matters, it is guardian ad litem. You catch it in the moment. It's nothing like past and previous and trying to go back and fix this. No, it's right there with them in the storm. You're in the storm of their situation, and everything you do can affect gears. And it has authority behind it. Accountability with that authority, but it has it behind it where you're able to check the system, whether they like it or not, because they don't like it. I've worked in those areas. And you not knowing, and I'm saying, so because I may call and I may ask, because I may have forgotten a little bit, and once I get it back, oh, that's right. Let me write this down. Discharge plan. Let me write this down. And I'm asking this stuff, and you treat me like this. You treat me as a person without the experience. And I'm literally checking off certain things, and the certain things I'm checking off is the sense of ownership. And that may be for a bad word, because the ownership part is not there, but taking a certain responsibility or feeling as if you have the understanding of the patient. I mean, really have that, like, I got you. You know that when somebody, I got you. That I got you moment, I got you. Don't mean do everything. I got you means I understand exactly where you're coming from. Let me, and where you're coming from, you probably just want this. It could be a little small comma in a sentence, and I got you. It does it. I'm your ride or die, because that little comma that you did for me. I'm gonna come back. The customer's gonna keep coming back to you because you just took the effort to do what you just did and wasn't coming to them because you were tired and fatigued, and you bled out the fatigue on them. Do you understand what that feels like in a mental health ward? And you're actually receiving this from people? Doctors and social workers. And me, because I'm the different person on when I do my videos, when I actually start talking, I don't step to people. I step to people very, some people say Clark Kentish. You know, so it's a different me where I ask questions to get to a point, so I don't seem aggressive in the point I think I need to make. I ask to make sure of it, or certain other things around it. And because of the questions, you get offended. Question, a discharge plan. It's okay to ask for a discharge plan. You get it when you get out of the hospital. When you get out, you give me my discharge plan. And I'm now looking at particular things that I may have disagreed with, just like a treatment plan. Patient has a right to be involved in the treatment plan. Whether the medications you're getting, how much you should do, whether it's diet, that's a part of the treatment plan. So if you don't get that, the treatment plan, if you're not involved with it, you just feel like people coming to you and they're not like really being a part of your situation to a point, because it's not their problem now. And I must say this to defend them and every other person that's in social working and all the other doctors. There is a compassion fatigue that people can get. Took that in, the Guardian ad litem here in Broward. I took that, the compassion fatigue class. We had a compassion fatigue class, and I really got more of an understanding. I was really the person that really was, you would not know what I'm going through anyway. You wouldn't know that, because that hello and how you doing, all that kind of stuff, I just mean it just, oh, I'm okay. Oh, I'm good. Don't think that good is I have a regular good, and that definitely may not be your good. But that's what it is. But getting to the point with Larkin, the attitudes and the, but this is, no, that's a little dramatic. Definitely the swing of the door, but this, or the closing of the door, is certain stuff that will send someone else with a different mental illness cuckoo. It'll make you trigger a little bit with the treatment. And so, but it's okay to do that, and then to do it around others who I don't know, some people have triggers because of the stress alone. You hear all this argument that's going on. And I'm saying, I'm the one saying, can we step aside? We're in a lunchroom. We have all these people around. One, I want to have a private conversation. I want to be able to talk and not be so loud and you not bending over me over the table as if there's an authority. We're just equals here talking about what should I do and you helping me out. And no, it's not your problem for the placementship, right? It's not the placementship. I don't really feel, this is one of my notes that I was going to, I don't really feel that I was given I don't really feel, sorry y'all, my typing, writing, and reading, totally different. They don't add up. I got to try to sync them together. So I don't really feel that I was given any valuable options, I said, for discharge. And 2 or 3 options would have possibly placed me in a severe crisis and or readmission with 2 weeks, if not ending in with only 2 weeks basically left, if not ending with a catastrophic self-inflicting injuries. That's how I said it. I try to work my stuff out and make it nice, but me reading my words after all that, it'd be like, wait, let's get here. So, but basically 2 weeks, I move into place. Church money has paid for me to move in this place. All right. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Now June comes up and the payment. You don't know what the rent is. This is your first ALF and all this kind of stuff. You're not gone over it. It's like people can get so rhythmatic and routine and not remember the basics of service in the routine that you do. So with that, the 2 weeks is left. It goes into June. When it goes into June, my money comes in. I'm down $100. Either my P.O. box is due, certain other things due, whatever's due. Every other thing that does and that needs to be done and that's automatically removed from my account triggers a $30 fee. They didn't even, and then when I was trying to go to them and they were ignoring what they assumed held in me because they were ignoring the hell out of me. And I was the client, excuse me, is there any possible way we can get that people allowed to get access to their bank accounts? Because we're talking about rents now. My concern is I don't know where my account was left at. You're not thinking about any of all that kind of stuff. And you have to get back into that moment. They were ignoring the hell out of me of what their opinion was. That I was just full of hell. That's what there had to be. Or they didn't just care. Well, no. I said my opinion was it was retaliation due to my racial discrimination claim because doctors made them. Yeah. So anyway, we just got to get back to that. We got to get back to everybody's not in the box. Which, speaking of, one of the doctors, stated you should just move after I told them the detailed situation of this eviction, the forging of the complaints, which I hope they're now, because some other documents I haven't seen. I haven't seen them since I got back from and they just made me go through it real fast, and I haven't seen some of the. I promise you, I haven't. Not that they're not there. Maybe they were misplaced because they had evidence, red evidence tape all over each of my bags and belongings taped up. They'd gone through my stuff. When what situation? It must have been the situation to have a different case number that I have no idea about than the other case number that I was at Larkin with, that it says that I was coming from my room because there was an issue about a discharge. That's the only thing I know. Anything else, I have no idea what we're talking about. And you got me signing a paper with a different case number and a different police department. Shame. I'm sorry. And then y'all name them. I guess maybe y'all work for that police department now. I can't. I just showed y'all the address. Somebody had to write it down. They Googled it because here it is. They took all my stuff, my phones, wallet, my ID, everything. I couldn't call anybody from the TC something jail facility. I had to use somebody else's phone, thankfully, who Googled it and wrote the directions down and told me what bus to get. Thankfully, they gave me a bus card to get to, and thankfully it was only one straight trip, and I just had to walk the way. That was God in that moment. For me, it was. So, other than that, you had a person who did not know. And I was trying to call other people, and then calling other people, your call has been restricted. You calling all these other people on your call sheet. Your call has been restricted. Your call has been restricted. Your call has been restricted. That's what you're hearing on discharge. And it's almost like somebody, are you trying to send me into a moment? Woosah, we're going to breathe. So, at the end of the day, I'm coming now to this facility. What is all this, y'all? And they didn't want it. It was like a favor to them to give me my, at the time. And okay, I appreciate it. I'm thankful, Lord. And then you rush me through it. Well, I need to make sure I have my testosterone that I don't have. That either Larkin, it was only in Larkin's custody, or right? Yeah, it was only because I had this one of these Larkin things. So it was only in Larkin's custody. Because that's from the police department. So it was only in Larkin's custody and the police department custody. And someone took my testosterone out because my male hypogonadism. Don't need to get into that, but testosterone replacement. If you only knew what happens to your body when it doesn't produce testosterone any longer. And this may feel good and you may see me good, but I'm a person who has been in rough places in my life so long and so many times that I know how to be around people, be in front of a camera and be able to authentically be in the moment and just be me and me talk to you, blah, blah, blah. You don't know I'm half out of it, like ready to go to sleep, But to get back to this, so he comes to me, the doctor comes to me, and, he knows the issues with all that, those legal issues. And I'm saying, with the taxes, and you got somebody, I'm saying, Doc, you got somebody using the taxes and putting $6,900 something on your name on as a child tax credit and taking it from you. The only thing you're trying to do is get accountability for it. And for the financial accountability is this part. Teeth, right? Yeah, I had to show it. I'm sorry if it's gross, but I had to show it. But financial accountability is like, I went to the dentist. Okay, let me come back home. Okay, are there any financial are there any funds for me that could help me with my dental plan? $6,900 a month, except the month of December. Response was no. That was allocated for Terry Brewer. Response was no, but I can lend it to you. Okay. Thank you. That's what I need to know to file my vulnerable adult, financial exploitation of vulnerable adult, because there needed to be a service that I knew about that was rejected or denied first, and whether that actually helped me then or didn't, but that's what happened. And so this doctor, and I'm telling this doctor, I'm like, Doc, it's in the locker. You can look at it for years. And I said, no pun intended. I'm not crazy. And then the other residents are laughing. That's the kind of moment it is. So it's not like intense or anything. I don't want you to see that picture. It's not that intense. It's the verbal it's underlining verbal combativeness that goes on. And if you don't know that somebody just cut you, you don't know it until you kind of walk. Why am I bleeding? Like somebody just done did some verbal voodoo on me or something. And it should be verbal judo. I'll do use that term. But I said you can go look in the closet. You know, $6,900 a month, except the month of December. Those papers are in there, authentic papers, original applications, and then you have the power of attorney forms that my mother signed over to me. The focused power of attorney. Yeah, you sound crazy, but I'm telling you, you can go check, please. And then don't use the term. At the end of the day, what it sounds like, you and your mother should work. You should go and live with your mother. Work. How? You are. And her adding me as a dependent takes your money. Whatever word I'm trying to explain, that's what I want. Every time somebody adds somebody as a dependent that's not supposed to be a dependent, nevertheless, a child tax credit is taking your money. But you want to think that it's nothing. People take advantage of the system with vulnerable adults, and nobody thinks the less on really what it wreaks on their wallets. But you look at us and expect somebody to get above a certain level when actually they've been taken down levels because 6,900. That's the worksheet. This is the earned income, where you put the name of your child on there. This is her putting my name on there, my social security number, and there's nobody on there. And added both my granny and I on there. This was the 2018 thing about this with dependents. It's the living. It's more than 50% of the living expense, person's living expenses. Well, how can you have done grannies more than, and it's nothing to do with grannies, be a defendant, but the treatment of granny. But this is granny, and granny pretty much gave her entire check unless she said, "Hey, can you give some for so and so? Give $100 or so and so." Other than that, she didn't ask for anything. Her entire check went into this account that she just really, because we just go shopping, whatever, and that was it. That we, as in her, Jakari, Jeffrey, and I, but me in my room on that side, and that's the we, a part of that. So my focus has always been to separate my income, and it's been more extreme because Social Security don't play with Social Security. The people in Social Security don't know. They know. Some people within some people within Social Security like to. It's almost like they have this authority to. It feels my ownership of my feelings. I own them. It's mine. I have rights to my feelings. Feel as if they have this, when they have this authority now, it's like are able to nitpick at every little small thing. And I know the back end of it where they're on, because they have a retainer. Is that not a retainer, but they have not a ratio, but there's this monthly thing that you, I'm sure everybody have their metrics that has to be certain returns that has to come back, and not come back, but in this situation has to be as far as filing the particular things, how many times, how many filings you're doing within days, versus the wait time of different people, how much longer it takes, versus the normal time it should take. You need to squeeze this time down further just doing this type of thing, and goes on, blah, 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 which causes less time, less attention, which causes sometimes frustration, or which causes one to direct someone else to a certain attention, boxing them within your filing area because you're trying to your time. I understand, certain sides of social work and especially people in the, that's all you got. You think social workers need therapies. So that's my proof of, at least I got, tons and tons of that stuff. But, I don't want to go into that. I've shown it to the courts. I'm just so exhausted. And I'm saying, I got the papers. Look at them. It's either you don't want to look at them for some reason of an associated, and that's what I'm trying to, of an associated conflict. If you get what I mean. So whether it doesn't have to be your company, but it can be a partner with your company, or it could be someone that you associate with, especially when the governmental stuff like that, and we can't report on them, such as Broward with the City of Fort Lauderdale Housing Authority. At that time, I think everybody's, I don't want to say incomes, or that the housing authorities was getting, and Broward was pulling out of one, I think, or something like that. I think it was under Broward. I think, if I may remember. But to Tiffany, Tabitha Stevens, Sister Tabitha Stevens, and responded to me in the email and didn't send a report, and she said she was going to type it up, and she didn't type it up. That's, if you're on my online website, you've read the same thing. I'm just saying it now because I respect, she's a wonderful singer, lovely singer. I didn't even know, because of our interaction, I didn't know that was the same person at the church. Now that can be seen as positive or negative. I just didn't match the two together. And I'm saying it's very neutral. Hopefully you feel it that way, because I just didn't match the two together. Tabitha Stevens, I think it's something like that. But I didn't match the two together with this wonderful voice at Word of the Living God Ministries, Pastor Mohorn's church. Didn't know it. So no, just didn't file the complaint. Oh, I'm going to type it up. Man, do you know how much it costs to lie on people? For me, it just pulls so much it puts so much from, it should, to lie on somebody. So me having this long extended conversation, knowing that I've read the HUD investigative manuals and knowing the process that people go through. Okay, we do a phone interview, you're typing my stuff out and you're sending it to me to sign, as she says she's doing. You should receive the email in a couple of minutes. But now, since she's heard me say, no, Broward is involved, and Housing Authority, City of Fort Lauderdale Housing Authority, they did so and so and so, and this informal review that they did, and what Broward did. Broward covered up for the City of Fort Lauderdale in this informal review and the things that they did, and Broward did not actually say, expose the errors, or violations of the City of Fort Lauderdale. They covered up for them. So I can't say somebody, let's step here. Whoo, yeah, we good. That's how the final reports was with Broward and City of Fort Lauderdale. That was a long time ago, but I'm still living it, people. You trust me. I hope somebody. Y'all got whistles, man. Y'all people and y'all got whistles. I'm just on the other side that able to explain to you at the end of the day, is still in the pocket of these Americans when people have been taken advantage of, but they don't know it. And they're around here looking at these people like they no good, lazy, ain't doing nothing, but not knowing that people do the treatment, that the suppressive, oppressive treatment that degrades a person's esteem. I know one person, and I'm not going to say this person's name because it's very important, but one person with the tone, the perfection of that deals in mental health, with the tone and perfection of how every client was a special client. Oh, hi. It's lovely to talk. Let's talk. Okay, you know what? I don't have the time now, but you know what? This and that. And yes, people are, yes, people are people. We got skin on us. But there are techniques of de-escalation and stuff. And when I know I'm being ignored, I say this. Okay. So you say you're gonna do, okay, all right. What time? I think that was Willie Miles too. When would you like for me to follow up with you? What is it? And so now this is a reaction that you get. If you get somebody that's insulted by that reaction, take caution and take heed. I said I would, wait a minute. I'm not asking 5 minutes. Do you want me to come back in 2 hours? Because I'm just holding you to what you're able to do on your load. That's it. And knowing that things happen, I just want to keep my ownership of my problem to come back and follow up with you to my problem. I said I will follow. Just tell me. Okay, so I'll give you extra 2 hours. I'll come back just to follow up to see. And no answer on the door now. But they're behind the door and they don't answer the doors. And I've seen the time that these patients have actually knocked on the door. I'm telling you, I feel that I have been, especially at that time, one of those most particular people. So that was knocking on the door. So getting back to Dr. Gutierrez, when he finally heard me and I was filing a complaint, and which is one of the reasons I spoke my mouth over the phone, and I'm almost positive because I had to look back to see what did it. So I'm almost positive that his change and their cover up for him saying, we're going to fix that. Don't worry about Monday. We're going to make sure we try to find placement for you. Reasonable placement for the doctor that put it in my face. So we're going to try to find reasonable placement or whatever he said. He may not have said that, but we're going to work. We're not going to push you out there because this right here, and you already no, you're not doing this. Some people are doing this, and some people are, you don't need this. You don't need that kind of energy. I don't like it. And sometimes they do it deliberately to throw you off, to tell you, never mind. For my folks, that is the only reason why half of the things has been going to me, because they've been wanting me to, I want to say the word, you still here? I'm still trying to get my complaint through. I'm still trying to do this. Yes, still trying to go to federal court. Hey, do you have those emails? Can you send me those emails? This is to who I'm speaking with. This is Congressman Sheila E. Surface McCormick's office, who, when I called, they knew my voice. And I said, hi, this is Terry Brewer calling on the recorded line. And I'm calling to check up. Who? Terry Brewer calling on the recorded line. I'm sorry, hold. And you hear it later. Hold on. Hi, is this Jerry? And you hear the person say, Terry, call him Terry. Is this Terry? I have the recording. Is this Terry? Okay, hopefully I still have the recording, because I'm sorry, my phones, everything was, hopefully I still have the recordings. Is this Terry? Okay, but somebody already told you who I was, and they was kicking in the background while y'all was playing and putting people on hold. Congresswoman Sheila Surplus McCormick's office, which was over 8 months ago, if longer than that. You were supposed to send me an email, total, all the email correspondence that we had. Please email those to me. I need to physically see that you called me crazy in one of your emails. You as in, Williams, Miss Maisha Williams. I need to physically see you email that. Can you please, because I'm having a hard time reading this in my email, that you called me, that you pretty much called me crazy. You called me crazy. So I'm having a hard time seeing that when I'm trying to make particular inquiries and typing them out pretty well for you just to help me out. And you'll get them when you get them. Okay, it's been 8 months. I don't know how many months. Still haven't got them yet. Deprivation of service or dishonest service. Dishonest services. Dishonest services. Dishonest services. You can't work in the government for so long to think that you own it, to think that you have the sense of ownership that you can do whatever you need to do, that you can just do and treat anybody that you want to treat a certain way and not hold yourself accountable to any person that calls you. And some people can be very bad. Some people can gaslight you as if you're very bad and you feel, oh, I'm sorry. But what I do is, I make sure, let me apologize first. Be the first to apologize. I'm sorry. No, what I really was trying to do is so and so. So now getting back to the answer, can we get that? Because be the first to apologize, keep going, get the question out so because they will gaslight you. Yes, that in that particular office, they will gaslight you and make you feel totally low. And then for them to know that they're already dealing with a person with a disability, it kind of strikes you as well when that happens, because they don't know how low you are anyway. So here I am on this day, and I say, if it give, I think since 101, I think to the Cash App, $1.01, the TBCS 360. If it don't make sense, give some sense. If it don't make sense, this has been going on. Y'all think that I'm not the kind of person. I'm the person. The people that were there saw me always in the back. I'll talk, but I'm the looker, and I love people watching. I personally love people watching. I can sit in the middle of a floor of even in that ward and just sit and look up and just standing still to the point that staff, Terry, you all right? They're not knowing. Yeah, I'm good. I'm people watching. I love it. It's love seeing people move in certain groups and how they, work out. And you see this one person and you say, oh, what life? Okay. And you just try to read it a little bit. Oh, look at this, look at that. Practice mindful. Like I'm I notice a lot of things. So, and the things that I notice very intricate in what I notice, I just, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's so nice. He's giving her a flower. Not that was happening there. But I look at either chemistry or love that people are showing each other, how they're getting along, how they're not getting along sometimes. I may laugh at this, but it's like moving art. Yeah. It's like moving art for me. It's art in real 3D. It's moving art for me, which I'm sure there's moving art now. But so that's me. I'm a people watcher. I love watching people. And just getting back to my point, with this, the treatment was bad. And the day the day that Miss Alexandria, because everybody knows. I'm going back to ask for a particular, and when you go back to, it's like the HR, like certain departments, but they're close, and can I have my application, I want to see my voluntary application, please. So when I come back, it doesn't show that I was Baker Act, please. Because at the end of the day, people will gaslight you and spin you. No, it was your fault. I've seen it before. So, when it was understood, and it was my understanding, and I think I've been cautious about it because I have a case that's coming up, a court case, because I was charged with trespassing. Okay, so now I speak to the director after this. I'm like, I said, you know what? This is what I told her. I said, you know what? I'm not doing this. I'm not leaving. Because you're coming up to me with Dr. Gutierrez, with Monday discharge. We're here on, I think, Monday discharge. That was maybe could have been that same day, earlier that day. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna finish my complaint. I'm finishing my complaint. Now, he just came back to me. He, as in Dr. Gutierrez, came to me who knew I was filing the complaint, which makes me feel like the numbers were switched because the numbers not were switched, but the phones were recorded. I don't even know how long I'm taking on this recording. I'm so sorry, y'all. But knowing that, me figuring out that the phones may have been recorded, because he totally not reneged gas. You must have it totally mixed up with Mr. Brewer and ignoring me. And I'm waiting patiently. Dr. Gutierrez, and I'm not making fun of the situation. If one doc can show something, why can't the other doc show it? And I know one doc who is one doc that can show it. Why can't you show it? It's not the above all, especially on a mental health facility. I'm still that person. Give me something. Not just to ignore, not just the other shift, the whatever. As soon as I start filing, oh, I see. What was it? I think I saw the difference of white robes now. The white robes. Some things started changing a little bit, and then they're going up the step. Hey, how you doing? I'll have it when I have it. Okay. Which is, and we know energy now, and we know. I love this thing about hello, because for me that's my I forget what I want to say on that, but that's how I kind of downgrade particular situations before you even approach. I used to learn that as an African American. You walking up to somebody, especially somebody of a different color, it's very important for you to say hello and how you say it, because it's just important, because it kind of pulls the shield down a little bit. Oh, hello, how are you? Before, so they're not tight, because you can't fault something that people have been used to or been around as much for people to be weary, because it's unusual. You see it on TV, but what you've seen on TV for most at that time has been negative images. So the expectation or whatever automatically triggers that. But getting back to my point, at the end of the day, the nurse or the physician or the doctor or the medical associate, I don't want to name anybody or or who it was or anything in this. I don't want to do that right now, or just particular people, but just the hey, how are you? How can I help you? Terry, I really am busy right now, but what I'll do, I'll get back with you later. I'll get back. There's a silent tone, the soft tone that can be in your voice. Dealing with certain patients, I've been there, I've seen it. I know the man that does it or that did it, and he's not like the god of anything. And but I know someone who is, no. That's not, and I can look at it and say, you're not even treating me as a person, more or less a mental health patient. You're not treating me as equal, and we're on the mental health department. That's what I see. It's long enough for me to see it. So anyway, thank y'all for listening. I think that's what I wanted to say. Besides my black laptop that I kept asking for, did not want to amend that. Besides the testosterone that I'm missing, or the report with a new number that I signed with Miami-Dade Police Department because I had walked 16 miles with no belt. It was 16 minutes, not 16 miles, with no belt because I had to catch the bus to get off a certain area, and trying to get there, and then trying to get, please, can I get I don't have a cell phone, and I'm in South Miami. I don't have ID to say, hey, this is who I am. Can you help me out? I don't have any of that stuff. Do you know what kind of people we run into, and especially when you go in Miami? You better have your credentials on you, or you've been pulled up somewhere and been, so I don't have that. And no. I have to say, the feeling of it. No, it wasn't meant then, but it is what it is. And at the end of the day, it is what it. It's dishonest services. Dishonest services for me to have signed a document that does not share the case number that I came about. Because I didn't come about. No, when you took my luggage, off the floor of Larkin Hospital. When you took my luggage and my computer, it was off that same moment, that same time when you put me in handcuffs, because back to the moment, I'm telling Alexandria, the director of the unit now, I've learned to escalate. When other people come to you who you didn't go to escalate that to, the director, and other people come to you because they're trying to de-escalate the situation, don't do that. You can't. It is, I don't like a better term, systematically. It's not, don't do that. Because once you've gone to that person now, it starts a miscommunication. And you start, oh yeah, I went to so-and-so and that, why did you come to me because that's when you escalate now. And so every time these doctors are coming to, you know what? I have to talk about this. I don't know how many times of my issue and what's going on. So I said, look, I'm not dealing with this on y'all coming to me telling me I'm going off Monday now because y'all see me doing all this stuff. I'm going back to my room, finish filing my complaint. She says and I think we got to the thing about being discharged. She said, that's fine. You're discharged, but you're pending discharge. That's how she says it. You're discharged, but you're pending discharge. That's her response to me. And it's to this tone. That's fine. You're discharged, but you're pending discharge. You're just discharged to the point that you're free to go at any time. Because it's a allowed facility and transparency. Oh, okay. I'll get it. Okay. All right then. So we'll chat later. I'm going back to my room. File my stuff. Okay. She knows. Okay, great. We're good. I'm filing my reasonable accommodation, filing this, get ready to file that. Go. Yeah, what is it? The police are here. Police are here for what? They need you to come out. I should have never left that room. No, y'all come in this room. In my 518A room. Y'all come in that room where my name is on that board as a patient before stepping out. They lured me out. And I'm saying yes. And I have my complaints just in case. May I help y'all? And I was being cooperative because while I was still there, being discharged, pending, I was working and also wanted to make sure, okay, be involved in this group, be involved in that group. You can't be separated, still participate, because I think it's a form of respect. And on top of that, you never know. You do everything you need to do because you never know what other people are not doing or are doing against you at the same time until it's already done, like this. And the reason why she had to add to it, and I'm like, and I call it attitude, yes, but no, we need to get going because we have so much. Do you see my stuff that you see what I have here? And we're doing an inventory and you're saying, no, there's a key word. The one word, then whatever you want to call it, millennious stuff. What? Anything could be millennious. Then when you talk about the legal verbiage of it and how, okay, because you didn't claim a physical item that may have carried something or had something, a particular value, then that's when you get home and you figure out, well, this stuff not in here. It's not in here. You're not allowed to go through it. And so just sign it. So I just had to sign. I said, look, well, what I'm going to do, it's not a problem. I'm just going to put the word package because I haven't seen all of it. So I'm just going to I'm only focused down at the bottom and then because I caught the bus from the jailhouse, I now have to figure out where I'm going to live. So I can't be here long in South Miami when I have to get back to my land, Broward, which I'm now in Fort Lauderdale. So what's up? Can I just really, because I don't want, and I said, can we really kind of get a little, because I don't want to kind of come back and I'm missing. Yeah, we just need to, and I know it wasn't too long. No, I know it wasn't too long. I know it's because I rarely talk about my website. I rarely talk about the things that are on my website. I want to, I've waited for people to talk to me about the website or people to talk to me about other things, and I've never had that moment yet. So it leads me to, again, to think that those court things are in the way, and this whole, I think that there is some type of incompetency that was ruled on me for a settlement, and then for money to start popping up. And then she put my name to it. But then it was illegal for her to do it. And then I got the records, but folks don't want to see. And every time somebody claiming somebody on their taxes, it takes money from other people who ain't claiming right. When you misfile and you claiming dependence on your tax and you getting extra money that you're not supposed to be getting, extra money takes from somebody else's money. Because that money is in there now, but extra money, it puts a more of a burden as far as how much we get back for, the whole budget, annual budget, and how we're going to spend, what Congress is going to do. Okay, we get the money from the taxes. Okay, now one person you claiming people on your tax, you taking money back away from the system we putting into back in the taxpayers that's trying to put into that same system and help out, and they looking at people that, dog, y'all just so lazy. You don't want to do nothing. Really? Those people really are tired because they work so hard. When I tell you the time that it takes to get to that point, and I'm trying to look at my time because I'm about to get off. But when I tell you the time that it takes for people to work and from here, and then by the time they get back to this form and they got to fill this form out and sign and get back to you, and then you literally intentionally, because there's an intentional, for some people there's an intentional thing to throw them off so they don't file no more. I'm telling y'all, it's out there. And for them, all they need, they waiting on you. I ain't fooling, never mind, and they get up and go. Because they got other stuff on their mind, what I'm gonna feed my child, and they got 6, some have 6, 5. Yeah, it's not your problem, but it's your problem. It's not your problem, but it's your problem. So whether you deal with it now, you deal with it later, either way, maybe you like the paying for the expenses of not having to deal with it, and the system just continues to do what it does. And that's it. And you get those same placements and treatments from and I've involved my case manager, social worker, and every other person that I, and not that many people. It was only one person. The third person wasn't as involved, but I did the right thing. I came and I said, excuse me, I don't like the way you're treating me. I came to you on Sunday knowing my core issue and what that core issue would still be. And that is a discharge, not knowing where am I laying my head at, and a consistent plan and a routine that I need to do, being within my perimeters, my surroundings, my resources. I have no idea. Let me give it their point, as far as the expenses of, the real estate, costs and prices and all that stuff, the inflations and blah, blah, blah. Okay, all that stuff. Right, it's not your problem. Okay. So here it is, the last thing. So the $750 that was offered in Dade, you have the $850 that was offered in Fort Lauderdale. But Terry, you can really go to this program. Once you keep going, and they just kept insisting about this program, New Hope. Then they said, and the rep is coming. They tell you, and the rep is coming tomorrow to assess you. Wait a minute, you got something. I didn't tell you to do that's. You're not even giving me control of myself. Would you like? I really think it's good for this rep to come, and they're available tomorrow if you'd like. I can get them to come to you. It'll be very beneficial whether you decide to do it or not. I'm giving you examples of what I didn't receive, and I'm sure what others possibly didn't receive, don't even know they need to receive, and then they just feel like this is their fault. And we got these high class and low class, and then the vulnerable class who really just think it's their fault. There's some illnesses and some positions and predicaments that people are in, and it's not. You got to give it a break and figure out, how can I give a balance to this person's life, a balance, so they're not a strain on the system that you let go because you want to get your ratio right, or whatever, you want to get your criteria, your thing back. And I'm flatter that word, but your quota, and you want to, either it's a quota or whatever you call it. You want to be on game and just keep going. Let's keep going. It is what it is, and I respect every individual. One thing I do know, and I must say, is through this time period, and I'm ending, that I've learned to respect the individuals. I've learned to respect the individuals that really think about themselves, because I have been considered selfless, and to most people, selfless in the way that I don't look at and I haven't. If you know my grandmother, and being around her, and just me being around her, and there's a selflessness that automatically that she does. When you come in the house, you probably already her grandchild. When you don't want to eat, you probably forced to eat, and it comes out real good. But it was one of these things where I always seen her extend herself extra, like it's this extra. If I don't feel like a little, no, I've exhausted you in love, in a certain point, like a better word, exhaust in love, but exhaust that point, for me, I hadn't done it yet. I haven't blessed you yet. I haven't given you a separate moment or experience or interaction, that's the word that I want to say, with someone to have. That's my thing. And I always love it to have that little moment of interaction. That's just that hello. Just a hello. Just a hello. And so me now, I'm here at the Motel 6. Motel 6 is off of State Road 84 here. And I don't say I'm wrong, but I'm at the Motel 6 off of State Road 84 and I-95. And at the end of the day, I thank them for allowing me to get this room here and everything, and nice and cozy. And I'm thankful. I'm just thankful. I'm good. I'm good. But people have moments. You don't know, and you won't be able to. You don't see those moments, and people don't want you to see those moments that people have. So when we go to those professional people and and be in our little small little self, whether I can be, because I can be a shell, you can't, whether you could read me, can't read me, I can be a shell, yeah, I can. But when we be in those moments where you're giving those services, it's something different. You don't understand what it feels like. And then have to come back into the real world to deal with people who don't deal with issues. The issues that you have to constantly get up and feel like it's lead. And you have lead that's in your system. And you got, all right. As soon as you take this, it'll be all right. Oh, all right. Woo. Let's keep going. Hey, good morning. And you don't know that be either, I don't want to say somebody's Zoloft or something. That would, you'd be like, that was Zoloft that was doing that for that person? Or somebody's Wellbutrin or something. These are particular antidepressant medications. So, but anyway, y'all stay blessed. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I don't know. And I wanted to come on and say I was okay. I'm safe. I'm fine. I'm in the same place that I'm in. The problem is that because of the Winn-Dixie turned down and just certain resources, I had to get Ubers and all these other rides to get other different places and stuff. And one of the problems was, the not having the close resources with that. So anyway, I thank y'all for tuning in. I ask you all to pray for me. It's some bad stuff going on out there. It really is, whether you believe it or not. The eviction case that I see, that I filed, I've even been wanting to do a live screen thing so you can see me logging in, because I'm like, is this thing really, are you serious? And I have to print every page and print out the image of it just to make sure I save it, because I can't even trust, I'm sorry, but I don't feel I can trust. Yeah, I can say I don't feel, but I've had the experiences and I've had the documents to come back to say I can't trust Broward courts as much. I need to make sure I have everything together. Like when you walk out, you'd be like, okay, got this. Just one moment, I'll just make sure I got everything. Because it's all important, and if you don't have it, that's it. You need to make sure you trust yourself. Then people ain't gonna help you. So I've learned to respect that. Getting back on that, I learned to respect that. Getting back on those individuals who choose to do that. But for the ones who are not me, and speaking for the ones who are not speaking for my peers, but speaking for my peers, because I don't want to put words in their mouth. But that's my lack of a better term. It's just one of these things where you can't do that to the most vulnerable people. I forgot her name, the therapist, where she was so compassionate, and this is my mindfulness, and I know she didn't know this, and she speaks Spanish, so she's good where she is speaking with you, and she's literally translating at the same time, interacting with Spanish, English. Oh, you're saying this? Oh, you like this? And she speaks it in Spanish, and she keeps it going, and she sees this one person who is shivering, right? Some people would have left that person shivering in that group and would have not helped him. She stopped. I think it was more in the beginning of the group, but I know she stepped. It was an unusual thing that she did, and she came back. And when she came back, she wasn't pacing. She wrapped that thing around him like he was David or something. Like one of those. It's his wrap that when she had it, it was almost like a baby. But you felt. I said, "Wow, she did." I didn't never say anything to her about it, but my little quiet self, I was like, "That's compassion." And when she did it, This is the response. Oh, thank you. I was so cold. I feel better now. And like that person can now participate. And that's what she wanted. To get that person, let me get you, because I need to get your mind focused on this group. And wraps him. Didn't say nothing about it. But man, that thing, if you know me now, I'm emotional about it. That thing, because I love to see compassion when it's given without like people knowing that, like doing it on spot. Oh, I'm trying to look good. She wasn't trying to look good. She was in this moment that she just gave compassion and she cared for her patient, you know? And so it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think that's all I have to say, but Google the exception to payment standard. It really is a powerful thing for people who are in the housing development. If you want to give, please give to the TBCS 360, TBCS 360 Cash App. That those contributions are not tax deductible, and we are working on the federal case and trying to get back to the federal case that has been disrupted by disruptors, dealing with the evictions and all the disruptors who are getting paid to do it. I'm definitely getting paid to do this, and coached very well. Coached very well. So it's continuing racial discrimination or racial retaliation, continuing retaliation against a racial discrimination claim or due to racial discrimination claim. Continuing retaliation is something different when it comes to statutory. So don't come, if you come knocking on my door and something's it and how long ago that was, that has nothing to do with the continued retaliation. Continuing retaliation is something completely different. Yeah, and proving is something different too. Someone tried to put my grandmother's murder in my face. You know, the ounces that she had in her body for 12 hours of the six ounces of frothy liquid in the ICU unit, which is changed now as if she was moved to a different medical floor. Everybody who visited her know that she spent her last breath in the ICU ward with 1-on-1 patient ratio. So when it comes to this one thing, how was she moved? And then not only that, why are you calling me the last 7 minutes she's dying and saying she's almost dying? Well, we can't remove the DNR now because it was a DNR with an exception of not to do chest compressions because of how old she was, 96. Do everything you can do without the chest compressions, all other life-saving measurements. All other life-saving measurements, re-intubation. All other life-saving measurements is many other helping. And again, I'm not a medical person, but that's from what I remember. And when the autopsy comes back, it's 6 ounces of frothy liquid and 3 sections of her lungs collapsed. She's in the ICU unit. And I'm thinking this. I don't know what you're thinking. And then she's connected to monitors. Okay, how long did it take for those? And then she died from massive heart attack. Okay, 6 ounces of frothy liquid. How long did that take to build up? How long then to build up? Her lungs collapsed, causing her to have the massive heart attack. And within, I think it had to be a 12-hour duration from the time I saw her. Because it didn't happen like this. My point is, you got somebody dying right in front of you, you don't help them. Because she was extubated, I'm thinking she was calling somebody's name. Because she was talking even at that time. Or even just a thought that she called somebody and didn't help her. Especially with the matriarch of the family. This. So, no, something's wrong. No, yeah. And what was it? Intentional murder or something like that? Intent with inflict, which is murderous, I think was the word, legal terminology for it. It's past medical neglect. You're in the ICU ward. Medical people in the ICU ward from the center counter desk can see all these I see all the monitors, these beeping and all the stuff that's going on. So heart never showed signs of stress way before those 7 minutes. Never showed signs of stress of oxygen, which her 3 sections of her lungs collapsed. Nothing. Really. They just all did it at one time. You know? So don't just tell me that, no, don't. I don't want to. Yes, she was 96 years old, and I'm good with that. Now, I'm very good with that. But when I say God allowed her life to be, okay, you can't take responsibility for that where I should be thankful for it now, because as if it's off you. Because one thing tricky about it is that accountability is still there. It's just looming. It lurks. It can be very silent. And when that thing comes back up and stuff, and then you're not accountable, you haven't been, it just makes it worse. No, somebody took her off the life support system. Then you lied and said she was on the nasal support system. She was extubated. And then you said that she was okay. And then we talked about it. And you said that we discussed if it happens to where she shows distress, then we're going to re-enter. Oh yeah, not a problem. That was the medical treatment plan. 12 hours before or during, it could have been 10 hours that she was suffering, because she was suffering. So why wasn't the medical treatment plan done? Well, she was 96 years old. Don't be God. That is not your place. That is above your pay grade. That's the response that I've gotten. Not from, because some other people would give that same response, but they give it in a better, it's a different way. It's not, well, she was 90 years old, you know. The rest of it there is quiet. Well, she was 96 years old. What more of her life do you expect from it? Well, I would like to get as much out of this mileage in this car as much as possible, miss, please. You get more mileage out of the car as much as you want to. Somebody that you love, it's just the love that you're doing, and make sure you're doing your all. Not the what more would you want out of this life? Well, no, she could have been. Yeah, she could have been living some time now. But not saying she would have been living now. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying she could have, especially with the pathologist saying this specifically, so y'all know why I'm saying that. I have never seen such a clean her heart valves and you can just hear how she just noticed. She's never seen that on a 96-year-old. It was just so healthy and just clear. Heart, which is one of the major, or there's other stuff that's going on, but that's the stuff that keep it pumping right there. So if that's clean and she good going, which is most thing that cleans, keeps your system going, and that triggers everything else. Trust me, no, Grant had more strength than me. No. So that's my be all tell all. I'm not sure how long it was that I'm saying this, but I know for me it was needed to say, because I don't know when I'm coming back on again, because I'm in between locations right now, so I don't know. But I do want to tell those that I'm still looking to do the case. I want to hire professionals, investigators, private investigators, attorneys. I want to do surveys. I want to do so many different things that people know I've been wanting to do, and they do not want me to do because it would start so much trouble. But unfortunately, I'm sorry. I believe I've been given this assignment, and I say an assignment, to do, which is a little different for me. When I say assignment, for those, spiritual people who know, like, okay, when you really feel something's there, like, this was meant for you. This was meant for you. Time that you spent with Congressman Hastings, the time that you spent with Commissioner Moore, the time that you spent with Art Kennedy, on the hey, how you doing? The Art Kennedy, hey, how you doing, man? How you doing, man? And he could be just, how you doing? the Art Kennedy that I, you try to, because we emulate people. When we're around people, trust me, no. And you get in this moment, you hear them talking these conversations, how people were done, how this was done, and blah, 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 blah. And Congresswoman Carrie Meeks, that was before Commissioner Meeks, her son. This is when, around the beginning of the time, when her and Al C were campaigning together, and Rainbow Coalition doing these parades and all this stuff with campaigning. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm hearing these people talk about the same social situations that I'm now in, that I know better. And I'm looking at it, and I'm quiet and silent and even dressed different. It's almost like going to buy a car. Where people who go buy cars, they dress down. Okay, I'm dressing down. I'm dressing down. And, oh no, you think and you gave me that treatment too. I mean, gave it raw treatment. I'm speaking now of the housing authority. I'm not putting that energy. I'm not putting that energy on Larkin. So I'm talking about the housing authority of the city of Fort Lauderdale, Broward County housing, for the handling of the stuff, and I don't want to go into it. But anyway, it is what it is. But you need to get more involved into knowing why people like me, who you won't know, especially somebody like me. It's just, I think it's my calling. It's one of my callings. It's just a thing for me in this point, because there's a bridge that I because of my experience, certain experiences that I have that others don't have, the learning experiences and stuff that I have, and stuff that where I know better and everything. And then I see those that don't, but then they just get frustrated. I need to do this for this person. I need to do this for a moment of because precedence matters. To everything that we know around, I in my opinion, there's some form of precedence. Precedence is that level of goal, is that level, of, okay, this is, it's changed here now. There's different new. Oh, this is new now. Okay, this is unprecedented. I think it's certain things that's been unprecedented with the particular cases that's been involved. And if I know better, I do better for others who would look at people, and in 5 minutes, because they don't have time, they deal with customers every day. And by the time they get home to feed their kids, look at the kids' report card, hearing the social workers come to them and talking about their kids and them trying to make sure everything is all fine. So the social worker don't think anything else, listen to the teachers, making sure they doing their homework with them. And the teachers then feeling as if they are no good parent, not knowing they have to get up a certain time in the morning to do stuff before then and all this stuff. They don't have time to sit down and deal with this mess. They don't have time to sit down and deal with this. They don't. People know me. Okay. You don't want to do, okay. What time would you like for me to come back? I'm just that one of those people, like the police officer today, and I had the seats, and I felt it was a little, whack. I had some, not a little whack, but a little weird, where I put some stuff, the packages were all on the seats, 4 different seats. That's how many packages I had, wrapped in evidence stuff. And so you clear these seats off for people to come in, and, he said, you clear this for people to come in, and I'm not making fun of him. That's his cadence. I'm not making fun of him, not on that one. Because I couldn't speak in 5, and when I did start talking, I am not making, because he didn't have any kind of issues like that, nothing. So I cleared it off. But me, when you say clear something off, I take it, whenever you tell me something, I'm a very technical person. So here I am dusting off the chair, and he kind of, you don't need to do that. You just told me to clear it off. And he literally said, you don't need to do that. Like, why are you doing that? Because I'm brushing everything, because I'm clearing it off. I swear, like, I'm taking this, taking that, making everything. Because people don't want to sit on dirt and nobody else stuff. and to get this off. I'm cleared it off. But that's me, technical person, and okay, that wasn't okay. The other stuff was clear enough. Me, when I see dirt or some kind of dust on something, and people want to sit down, they don't need to sit on your stuff. So thank y'all for tuning in. I pray that we're able to come out of this. We are able to come out of this as a people. Yes, it is racial discrimination. Yes, 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 yes to yes beyond the deprivation, the dishonest services that has especially gone on me and Larkin with the retaliation, racial discrimination that I haven't gotten a chance because well, you didn't say this. I didn't say this. You pulled me out of the room, pulled me into the thing, and the man said, "You have two options. You can you can leave, or you can be taken out." I said, "I am going to go back to my room to finish filing this complaint." It's important for me to say that, and they detail it in the police report. Everything that they wanted, I feel, take ownership of those feelings. Everything I think that they wanted to do, covering for somebody else, didn't say. They kept saying Mr. Brewer because they list me as a homeless person. So Mr. Brewer just said he just wanted to go back to his room. I'm paraphrasing. Mr. Brewer said he's going back to his room. Period. Now there's a period after one of them rooms. And so I was like, why didn't you say Mr. Brewer said he's going back to his room to finish filing his complaint? There's a complaint that he was in the middle of filing, and they still wanted to discharge him, or they still wanted to throw him off the property or something, whatever you need to say in that, because that's true. Because you said you are the authority, something like authoritative figure in this position. Are you saying now you want him off the property? Yes. I'm handcuffed. That's it. I'm handcuffed, and then the officer, I think, really didn't get me. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this has happened. I really didn't think it should get to this. I really didn't think it should get to this or something like that. I'm so sorry this has happened. It shouldn't have gotten to this. It shouldn't have got to this point or something like that, I said. I think that there's a line that we draw. That's what I meant. Because when the director had already cleared it, 7 o'clock, either the director just told me that and she had her people to come up, or her people came up and cleared it for her. And maybe they told her I patiently left, but not with that kind of, and it wasn't a scene because I think they were more pissed. It's like a person sitting in what I'm used to seeing. It's people sitting in congressmen's in the front of Congressman's office, sitting down, waiting to be arrested. They're not really like they're being grabbed up and come on, turn around and because really for me, I'm like, what I'm gonna do is do this. All you had to do was and it wasn't as bad as I've seen it, but. Don't be mad at me that I chose to exercise a right by sitting there. And when I was directed to get up, turn around, okay, what are we doing? Okay, you've been arrested. Okay, and we're okay for trespassing. Okay, all right, this and where we're going. And I'm following directions. I'm good. I'm following directions. Because you can't claim that something happens to you until it happens. You can't claim your rights are violated until your rights are violated. That's the tricky part to it. But then you have to suffer some type of, I don't want to say this word discomfort. That's very, because no, that's a lower word. It was a point to the lady came in, she was asking me about my depression. Didn't want to say what she was asking me about it. And she says, so how are you feeling? How have you been feeling? Blah, 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 blah. How are you feeling about this since you've been in jail? How are you feeling? Are you feeling depressed? So I looked at her, I said, lady, who wouldn't be depressed, right? And I'm not thinking of where I'm looking around and everybody's just like, a lot of people are really chill. I'm saying, who wouldn't be depressed? A little something, like you're being taken out of somewhere for, exercising your rights that you feel. And it's okay to feel that you're exercising your rights, and it's okay for officers to say, let me allow you to exercise your rights. While you're doing that, okay, I need you to get up. Okay, as long as you get up, we're good. Turn around, so you put your hands on, and they're still talking like, okay, turn. I'm just exercising my rights. It's the same, just understanding of, I understand your point. You want to exercise the right, even though you're wrong, or even though you feel that I'm wrong, or, whatever in that moment. Don't feel, like, oh, it's just so stupid. It's like that same stupid energy, just so silly and just stupid and blah, 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 blah. I had all these pages. When I say all these pages, do you know what it's like to be in a ward where you have to, they don't even have a patient pen. I was asking for patient pens. It's plastic, so it's not pointy, it's not sharp. Mind you, she's already said, okay, well, you're free to go. You're discharged, but you're pending discharge. Okay, meaning you're free to leave it out of the SLOC facility. There's no concern for you. Okay. Can I have you have a marker, some type of crayon? So I'm doing crayons and small printing and all this kind of stuff, and they see me doing it, and they just trying to hurry up faster. Me talking on that Monday, look, I see what's happening. He done switched on me, changed his mind, like he didn't know what he was saying. Oh no, you just said that I said that because that was the only option that I had before becoming homeless, to go somewhere for 2 weeks, getting to that point, 2 weeks, and getting into another situation where my budget does not meet that at all. Like, I'm definitely living, like, come on. That's a setup. That is a setup. That's a setup. That's it. And I say in the church money, I'm not, no. I was very thankful and grateful and emotional about that, and just learning and understanding. There's this thing with, we all do that, learn and understand. There's this thing that you better be careful how you deal with somebody's money, especially when somebody give you money, and you're grateful for it, but it's only I'm like, yeah, but it's covering 2 weeks. And I wanted to be something like that it's almost like having somebody, like a blessing from like some elders. And Antioch is an elder kind of blessing, the church and the richness of the learning. Although, I have my things that I've said in the beginning that I do still claim in the beginning. That has never changed. That doesn't change. I need to say that now because I'm the different person at Antioch. And when I'm different like that at Antioch, it may seem as if, I'm good. I can just discuss it, compartmentalize, put that away. So-and-so said no. I've escalated it. No, we're not going there any further about this particular. Okay, I'm still going to exercise I understand that. I have no beef with you, blah, blah. I'm not telling you who the conversation was with or anything else like that, but I'm just saying. And then I'm good because life keeps going. And then you're in the middle of people that you are around, that you're getting to know. And you feel it becomes like sort of like a family type of thing. And, but family, have issues too as well. But still, let's be civil. That's all I'm saying in this whole thing. Let's be civil. And me, when you see me smiling and all this stuff, and some people that's two-faced. No, Terry, do you still do? Yes. Ask me my opinion, and you're gonna get. Some people don't want to ask me my opinion. You're gonna get you're gonna get an opinion. Until, and I'm not talking about any particular situation with Antioch. Just until things have cleared or something like that, or particular situation I've had or dealt with at Antioch, that has been there hasn't really been touched or cleared, and I think it's some kind of buffer that's happening. I don't know. It could be this, my guess of the incapacitation, like somebody did this thing or something in the courts, and I need to find out about it. And I've been trying to find out with Deacon Horn, and he made one thing, not about, well, one of the avenues of finding out about it was through the taxes. And him mentioning, I mentioned it was pulled forward with somebody else, that, he saw where they were still waiting on a guardianship, but he said that this is normal and that the case is closed. So it's off, but it ain't off. And my response was, oh, okay, I just wanted to know, but that was still showing. And I said, Deke, did you know? I think I went back and, it's still showing there. Like, they're still waiting on the guardianship for me to be assigned. I know the case is closed, but they're still waiting on, I don't know. But, yeah, to God be the glory. There's a thing called transcendental meditation. And when I meditate, the people teach you, they give you a word, that you're able, when I was told, you're able to modify. So meditation, like we pray and meditate, people, hallelujah. And where you meditate on this word. And so I just felt, and it wasn't nothing to do with them, and they knew about it. I said, well, I just changed, modified my mantra. I modified my mantra. And, it's easy. Because I think it's okay to say, because I think for some, you're not supposed to give it out, the mantra out, because it's your personal mantra. Jesus. That's it. That's it. That's it. Jesus. Jesus. That's it. That's it. And at anything that I have done, I have always consulted. I have always prayed. I have always begged for it not to be me to deal with this situation, because I wanted to do my company. And I'm doing my company now. I've said, how can I do my company and now incorporate community empowerment, community activists and that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, this case fits under community activists. Okay, now I feel better that I'm doing something that I know, like, that I'm doing something I feel better. But no, it's him. And when you feel that moment of, this is yours, I need you to do this, and you feel that tug, and you've been around the elders long enough that know that sense, that tug, and one of my favorite people that hears when she went to the beach, and we asked what she did. I don't want to mention her name, but she said, I'm just listening to the whispers of God. I'm just listening to the whispers of God. And me, I just watch God in nature. I love watching God in nature. That can be anything, y'all. I love patterns in it. I'm just very meticulous. I love all that stuff. So again, I thank you for your time. Go to SOS Congresswoman SheilaCM.com, SOS Congresswoman SheilaCM.com to learn more about, that previous update about the eviction. Not sure where it's at now. Not sure what I'll be updating next. But that's a site to follow up on, and that this video will be on again. Again, thank you for watching. God bless. Keep me in your prayers as I keep you in minds.